Hi guys, Jacob Russo here. I'm going to demonstrate a basic swing groove 4/4. It's important to remember that jazz music is improv-based art form. So that means we have to have a lot of coordination and independence. So what I'm going to be demonstrating is just one simple pattern to kind of get us through a song. But it's important to remember that you should check out some books or seek out a local private teacher to really dig into this style. So we're going to start with the most important parts of the drum set for jazz music, and that's the ride cymbal and the hi-hat pattern. So if we just isolate those and we simplify what the ride cymbal is doing, we're going to just play quarter notes on the ride cymbal because the pulse of a lot of jazz music is the quarter note. So we'll focus on that first, just to kind of get us started. So the tempo, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add in the hi-hat foot on counts 2 and 4. And at its most simple form, you could play that through a song and get through it and help the band and help support the band. Now, the next thing that we should add is the standard jazz ride cymbal pattern. So we're going to start with the quarter notes, and then I'm going to start adding in the extra notes that give us the jazz ride pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to add in the snare. And for this basic jazz pattern, just to kind of get us through a song, we're going to be doing a rim click on count 4. So let's talk briefly about how I play my rim clicks. So one thing that you can do to help get a fatter sound, a nicer sound, is to actually use the butt end of the stick when you hit the rim. So when you're doing this, one thing that really helps is to relax your hand on the head. And you're going to use these two fingers, your pointer finger and your thumb, to kind of grip the stick. The rest of them are just resting on, the other 3 fingers are resting on the head. And you're going to leave your wrist on the head and kind of pivot from the back and come down. So it's not this, and it's not that. You can hear how the sound changes. We leave our wrist here, pick up, and come down. So this might look easy. It's actually kind of hard to get a nice clean sound. So spend some time just focusing on that sound. Remember, what makes a good drummer is their sound. So always focus on the sounds that you're creating in each limb. So now we're focusing on our left hand. Keep your wrist down, pick up, and drop it. So now we're going to add that rim click into our groove. Again, it's on count 4, and I'm going to simplify what I'm doing on the right cymbal just to kind of focus on the 3 limbs at once to simplify, make it a little bit easier, and then I'll add in the right cymbal pattern. So here we go. 1. And I'm going to layer it in too. So this is something that you should do actually. Instead of just trying to go 3 all at once, that can be kind of tough. So one thing that I've found out through my own trial and error is practicing layering in each part of the drum set. So let's do that. I'm going to do the ride cymbal first, hi-hat second, and then I'll add in the rim click on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. adding in the bass drum. And one thing to remember about the bass drum is that it's the pattern that I'm doing. It's very light pattern, so we call it feathering the bass drum. So it's almost felt more than it is heard. The bass drum that we're playing on here is kind of a large bass drum, so it's going to be a little bit louder than if I was playing on like a small jazz kit. But the thing is to remember is that being that it's more felt than heard, if you leave it out, it's not going to be that missed. Okay, for the pattern that we're doing. So the pattern that we're going to be doing is playing quarter notes, and what it's going to do is it's kind of going to support the bass guitar or the acoustic bass. So when we do the feathering technique, what we're going to do is we're going to leave your heel on the ground, and a tip to help with this technique is the spring here tension. You can kind of loosen that spring so that way it doesn't bounce as much and it helps kind of with the feathering technique. So that's just kind of a little tip. But we're going to keep your heel on the ground and just try to lightly do our quarter note pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I mean, it kind of seems easy, but it's actually it's hard to not play loud sometimes. So it can be kind of tough. And again, when you're doing 4 different things with your limbs, things can get kind of tough. So let's add that into the groove. Again, I'm going to kind of layer things in. I'm going to start with my simple ride pattern, just quarter notes first, and then when I get everything in, then I'll change it to the extra added jazz ride note. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.